tocopherols, phytochemicals like phenolic acids, flavonoids, catechins, etc., and nutraceuticals like phenolic compounds like phenolic acid, flavonoids, and lignins. So we all know how beneficial millets is. Even our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir is also emphasizing consumption of millet in his lectures nowadays. So again, we are coming back towards our root and our traditional dietary patterns. Pulses and oilseeds. Now it has become almost invisible from our daily diet, from the modern diet, because now modern diet is more based on simple carbohydrate foods and packaged foods. So we are definitely missing the daily consumption of pulses and oilseeds, which is very healthy, because these both are a rich source of protein, which are very useful and essential in making antibodies, hemoglobin formation, enzymes and hormones, and also required for other biological processes, cell and tissue formation. Not only that, insoluble fibers, antioxidants like vitamin E, zinc, selenium, MUFA and PUFA, all these important and vital nutrients are received from pulses and oilseeds. So we all know PUFA is a rich food for health and immunity. PUFA rich foods are really good for health and immunity. So traditionally, oil is extracted from freshly from the oil seeds by cold press method and were not refined. That's why our oils were rich in PUFA, EPA and DHA. Their consumption was actually health promoting, as they decreases the production of pro-inflammatory cytokinins, like macrophages and clotting problems. And it increases the immune response by white blood cells to control the inflammation in the body. Isn't it so amazing to know that fats is our traditional diet is actually always been so healthy? Have you ever heard or read a single incidence of heart attack or cardiovascular diseases in any of our granthas, folklores or stories? No, never. And don't you think that we have ruined our most scientific oil extraction methods by refining, double refining and triple refining our daily consumptions of the oils? Today we know all about biochemistry of oil and fats, its digestion, metabolism, but what we have actually gained is cardiovascular diseases and stroke, and that is not a good sign. Modern nutrition science has revealed all the magical health benefits of consuming fruits and vegetables. We all are aware, and I'm not going to read them all again, but I just want to fruits and vegetables, that they are rich in antioxidants, which decreases oxidative stress and reactive oxidative species, and also increasing the expression of anti-inflammatory cytokinins and boost immunity. So when we are talking about the fruits and vegetables, fruits, especially roots and tubers, has always been an inevitable part of a traditional Indian diet, from prasadam to falahar during fasting also. So these are some of the health benefits of fruits, which helps us in maintaining immunity and health. Okay, so when we are talking about the traditional Indian foods, we must have to include the how important the cow milk was considered. Cow is considered as holy. Also, it has many medicinal properties in our which is shown in our culture. Any grantha you will pick, you will find importance of cow and cow milk from beginning from the Vedic Kal to Mahabharata Kal. As I always feel that our ancestors were great scientists, they must be knowing cholesterol lowering effects and A1A2 concept of cow milk, and hence it was promoted at this large extent, and that even Lord Krishna took avatara as Gopalaka or Gopala. So this cutting I have taken, sorry, This cutting I have taken from Wikipedia, and it has mentioned that A2 milk is a variety of cow's milk that mostly lacks a form of beta-casein protein called A1, and instead has mostly the A2 form, which we are nowadays talking a lot about A2 milk, right? Cow's milk like this was brought to market by the A2 milk companies, and it is sold mostly in Australia and United States, which all are developed countries that are not following traditional Indian diet. And on the other hand, I have pasted some pictures of Krishna, which has always emphasized the use of cow milk products. Then let's talk about some fermented milk and milk products. Fermented milk and milk products were never something new to us. It was counted such a precious and healthy food that Lord Krishna used to steal makhan so that it won't reach to the enemy village. So these are the benefits of fermented food and probiotic foods. Actually, I have put some more slides, but after listening to Madam, Preeti Madam, I just skipped all those slides because already everything is discussed in detail. So let us not talk everything about those things. Dr. Preeti Madam has taken such a wonderful session on the health benefits of fermented foods. So I will count it wiser to skip my content up to this only. So I am sure Sangeeta Madam will be agree with me if I will say that our Indian traditional foods are high in complex carbohydrate, low in glycemic index, loaded with healthy fats. If we evaluate our traditional foods with the modern nutritional science, so overall this is a very good package which can lower the risk of various lifestyle disorders. Okay, then we also have a concept of taking specific foods for specific time of the day. Basically, this concept is based on the body prakriti like Vata, Pitta and Kapha, and foods are recommended to take or avoid at specific time of the day. For example, in morning hours, simple carbohydrate-rich food, milk and milk products and fruits are recommended, and heavy and fried fatty foods are avoided. Before and during lunch, foods which are rich in herbs are generally taken as an appetizer or starter, and to create the acidic medium in stomach, and drinking water is avoided to decrease the dilution of digestive juice. Dinner, it is recommended to take simple, easily digested and light food with milk. And citrus fruit, all acidic foods, fermented food products and fried heavy foods are always avoided in dinner. Not only that, we have a very unique tradition of mukhwas. We called it mukhwas only in Gujarat. I don't know what exactly it is called in some other part of India. But we used to take pan, supari, amla, fennel, etc. because it has a astringent property, and it does a wonderful doing meal. Now coming to the cooking methods. Traditionally, we have very versatile cooking methods based on pure science. I just would like to mention the tradition of wrapping foods in fresh leaves while cooking and serving them on banana leaves. This tradition is followed each and every state of India. I have written some examples of different foods which are prepared in different states of India. So this kind of practices helps us providing numerous health and nutritional benefits from the leaves which are used for the cooking purpose or for the wrapping and eating purpose. So these are some of the recipes. We all are fond of eating such kind of things. Then herb mixture and curry masala. Special herbs and condiments combinations for pregnant and lactating mothers, which is called katla and batrisu, are available only in our traditional dietary pattern, which helps providing very precious trace elements which are basically very important for a proper growth and development of a fetus, as well as to bring more milk while during the lactation period. Now for winter and summer seasons, we have different types of food combinations, and we have also lots of mixture of different kind of masalas, which we call curry masala in our Indian traditional food. India is a country of herbs, spices and condiments, and after COVID era, almost all are said and felt about beneficial effects of these herbs. So I will keep myself brief with it. Now coming to the very important part, metal of cooking vessels. See, our dendritic cells play a crucial role in the initiation and regulations of the immune response by functioning as powerful antigen-presenting cells. Metal ions like iron, copper, zinc has shown positive effect on dendritic cell functions, neutrophils, and fostering health and immunity. So, have you ever wondered why Charnamrita, which are kept in copper vessels, and prasad is always offered in silver vessels? Why we have a tradition to gift silver spoon and bowl to a newborn baby? Here is the answer. Because all these metals are having powerful immunity booster and antimicrobial properties. For example, copper promotes T and B cell responses and phagocyte function. Iron promotes immune cell proliferation and maturation, particularly lymphocytes, and silver is a powerful silver has a powerful antibacterial properties. Mesmerizing it is. Now, Indian way of consuming food, it is also has a very scientific tradition, how to consume food. First of all, we used to pray before meal. Then sitting on the floor and consuming, while consuming the meal, we used to sit on the floor, consuming meal with hands and fingers, serving each other with love and affection. So first of all, if we see prayer before meal, so when we pray, we concentrate, our mind becomes calm and it only concentrates on the food which is served. So the atmosphere will become pleasant and the person will be happier while eating the foods. It is actually a very good concept. According to expert, sitting on the floor cross-legged while having food is a practice very common in India and is typically a yogic posture called Sukhasana, which is said to massage the abdominal muscles, boost the circulation of blood in lower part of the body and increase the flexibility of those organs, and which helps ultimately in the better digestion and absorption of the food. Then we have another very unique tradition that mother used to feed the child with her own hands, and child used to sit in mother's lap. This will create a very unique bond of love while eating and serving the food. Talking is not allowed during the meal to avoid choking, as well as to avoid hot discussions on the dining tables. I'm sorry, not on the dining tables, because we are sitting on the floor and taking the meal. Then sharing food from common utensils is also forbidden to avoid any infective diseases, and wastage of food is considered as a sin. Okay, so diet as a diet therapy. Diet therapy is an extensive part of Ayurveda. I have just put few glimpses over it, as it requires entire session if we talk on this. But we have different traditions in Ayurveda, which kind of food is taken in specific disease or nutritional deficiency conditions. It is also said which kind of vessels is used to prepare this kind of medicinal preparations. So there are so many things in our Ayurveda. Importance of water, I would like to cover this part. Water is also considered as Amrit or Amrita. So warm water at empty stomach in early morning is recommended. It is also recommended to take warm water throughout the day. Drinking water immediately before, during and after meal is not recommended because it is believed that it may dilute the digestive juice and it may hinder in the digestion. Now let's talk about a bit foods which are used during the Vrat days. So traditionally in India, we have a very specific recipes for Vrat days, which is prominently include millets, fresh fruits, roots, tubers, milk and milk products. And we know which kind of health benefits they provides to us. We have already discussed these things and the health benefits and nutritional benefits we received from this kind of foods. It provides soluble and non-soluble fibers, micronutrients, antioxidant, phytonutrients, very importantly, prebiotics and probiotics together. So when we follow some vrat and we used to remain without food, it is called nirahara, and sometimes we used to take recipes which are based on some millets as well as fruits and the roots and tubers. It is called falahara. So this both the type of tradition has its own health benefits. Now very unique aspect of our Indian traditional dietary pattern, and that is abstaining from taking the food, and it is called fasting, upvasa. Fasting fuel for health and longevity. For health and longevity, fasting is a willful abstaining from eating for a certain period of time, is practiced as a religious ritual that has known to have numerous health benefits. Japanese cell biologist Oshinori Oshumi won the Nobel Prize in the medicine in the year 2016 for his research on how cells recycle and renew their content, a process called autophagy. Fasting activates autophagy, which helps slow down the aging process and has a positive impact on cell renewal. Fasting also shown to activate autophagy, which in turn promotes the immunity and health both. Autophagy is a lysosome-dependent, voluntarily conserved process that breakdowns and recycle dysfunctional, lethal and mutant biomolecules which creates in our body during the metabolism, organelles and invading pathogens to retain the cellular homeostasis. It also reduces stress, slowing down aging process and increase longevity and improves the gut health. So thank you very much. Dipali has specifically told me yesterday to adhere the time limit and to complete it within the time. So I just keep it very brief. The last slide which I would like to mention that in our Indian dietary pattern, and the most importantly, it is said that whether you follow any good thing or not about the diet and the dietary pattern, but at least you never abuse the food, and that is the rule. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Before taking the questions, I'd like to introduce ma'am citation that will remain due to power cut. Okay, I now cited the ma'am profile. Dr. Preeti S. Dave, our academician, expert trainer, orator, orator, nutrition educator, well-known scientific column writer, and a nature lover. She is currently working as assistant professor in Sadri Kushinagar, Dantewada Agriculture University, Gujarat. Ma'am is PhD in food and nutrition with 12 years of experience teaching, research, and extension. The way ma'am published more than 24 research papers in national and international journals. Ma'am is also a scientific writer of book on diet therapy in Gujarati language and became his bestseller book and more than 35,000 copies are sold out. Ma'am is also a popular column writer in leading Gujarati daily since last 15 years. More than 550 articles on food, nutrition, health have been published by ma'am in various leading daily magazines. Ma'am also a panel of Doordarshan, Akashwani Radio, IGNU Gyan Swami radio channel of Doordarshan programs. Ma'am is also a life member of Nutrition Society of India and Dietetic Association. Thank you, ma'am.
Dipali, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
it's very lengthy introduction. Such a lengthy introduction is not
No,
required. Everyone present here are expert in their field. So,
yes, ma'am.
say.
Yeah, no, okay. Questions, please, ma'am. There.
Ma'am, hello Dipali,
Sir.
are you hearing?
Yes, sir. I think
Yeah,
eminent speaker wants to ask some questions. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
yeah. My congratulations to the Preeti madam. It was a very nice lecture, and I want to some add some things and some recommendation from Preeti madam. Actually, madam, there is no doubt about the Indian traditional foods. It's undoubtedly very important, and we are using from the very ancient. But if you see most of the raw materials, like a chapati or rice and pulses, and which presently we are using are not a proper way. Most of them are polished, means most of their nutrient, most of their minerals are removed. Means we have the rice in polished form, we have the pulse in the polished form, we have the fruit and vegetable with huge amount of pesticides and insecticides. And in ancient time, the disease was not so prevalent, but nowadays several types of metabolic diseases are there. So, if we propose the traditional foods by using same ingredient and polished form, then how can we achieve? Means our thali contain rice, pulse, vegetable, but ingredient which required for the particular nutrition, some essential minerals, some essential protein, in fact, are not available. In that cases, how can we recommend the persons for the to taking this traditional food with the present scenario ingredient, like millets? Millets are very good, but how can you use these millets? Either in hulling condition, or de-hull conditions, or some process conditions. This is the one of the important scenario. And in most of the cases, you recommend you take these vegetables, this fruit, and these spices. But the our cooking profile is entirely different. Initially, there was no pressure cooker, so our whole food was healthy. But present time, everyone using the high pressures, high temperature, make tasty, and used several ingredients where their composition is not available or the polished form. So how can we recommend, ma'am, this traditional food in current scenario? So our diet can be just to make a medicine.
Sir, you have raised. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, you have your question itself a self-explanatory, sir. You have also given some answers in your question, and thank you so much for raising this important question. Basically, what I feel that as I said earlier, that only, just like it is, I would like to quote an example of organic food. Just like eating organic wheat or some spices which are organic, we cannot avail all the health benefits of organic. Uh, we have to adopt the entire organic lifestyle. So, sir, we have traditional recipes. Though we have pressure cookers, that is our limitations nowadays, but we have knowledge of how to remove those anti-nutrients which you talk, and we have nowadays better options like different types of rices are available in supermarket. If you want unpolished rice, or if you want non-polished rice, that kind of options are also available. So it is up to us that we make a right food choices, and then we use our food preparation skills to make those foods healthier. Food combinations, we know all about food, right food combinations. Okay, so when you are talking about the anti-nutrients which are present in the food, so we know how to remove those anti-nutrients. Yesterday only Pushpa madam and you were talking and discussing on this topic only. The another thing I skipped is I think saturated fat. Yesterday only we had a very nice discussion on usage of saturated fat. So I would like to quote Sangeeta madam's words. He said that we can't be so, extremist in selecting or avoiding the foods. We have to select the middle path, and whatever best are available, we should use them in a wiser manner.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I am also of same opinion. But the problem is that whenever we recommend any people to take the chapati, pulses and vegetables, not all people are comfortable to purchase all things from the supermarket because most of the population is at the ground level. So, although these things are very important, but adopting the processing conditions, adopting the cooking conditions, and the way of cooking that is again important, and because it is very difficult to solve all the things at the ground level.
Sir, this is a really genuine question. Okay, what about the people who are living in the village area? Sir, I am working with the agriculture universities, and I am also working with farmers. So, what we can do, we can promote this kind of millet farming. They do not need to do extensive millet farming, but they can use a piece of the land to grow this kind of millets, and it is really easier and better in choice. We have so many things like millet is also helping in biological control of pesticides, of pest and some kind of birds. So there are so many useful ways we can promote the millets. Just right from the millet farming. So we are approaching the farmers nowadays. They are getting good price of millets. Earlier millets were very cheap, and now we know that it is a bit costlier than the cereals. So they are getting good price. We are also in the helping them with the value addition of these millet crops. Pushpa Bharti madam has done a lot of work from Dharwad Agriculture University. She has done a lots of work in this. So these are the different ways, sir, we can promote, because now the time has changed. So if we want to go back to our roots, it's not an easy journey, but we can put our best efforts from where we are working.
Sure, ma'am. I just want to add some thing. Actually, there are several commodity which is underutilized, but they have the
Yes.
potential. So we should just make a awareness and also adopt that because several research reports are going on for that underutilized. So instead of using some harmful or traditional things, we can also think about that underutilized or unutilized commodity. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other want to ask questions to ma'am?
I think Dipali, there are lots of attendees question. Why don't we give chance to them so they can be answered? I believe they deserve their question to be answered, right?
Yes. If anyone to ask question, they can unmute their voice too.
No, I think
Someone asked,
Dipali,
can we make our water healthy if someone is using RO water?
Sorry, can you please repeat, Dipali madam?
How can we make our water healthy if someone is a RO water user? This answer is also explained by ma'am, Preeti ma'am.
Okay, how we can make our water healthy?
RO water.
RO water healthy. Okay, so it is a very simple. We should we maintain the proper acidity of the RO water, and that is the best way. We decide the ppm of that RO water, and that is the best way to make it healthy, I think.
And Preeti ma'am also said that put that RO water in matka. Best.
Yeah, we can, yes, definitely. It provides it will again become a mineral water then. But yes, it's a good idea. Nowadays, we all are doing in our home. We used to put it in matka, earthen pot, as well
Earthen
as
pot.
in Bali, we have a tradition also to use the copper matka. Matka made of copper, and we used to store water in that. That is the
Yes,
additional
sir.
benefit. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Someone is asking what is difference between yogurt and curd. One of the participants.
Yogurt and curd.
Culture difference.
Yeah, one is probiotic. One is probiotic in nature, other is not completely established as a probiotic.
Son is specialized in that.
We call yogurt to the we
No,
don't call
sir,
it
I
curd
think,
here. We just call yogurt.
sir, I think there is not any considerable difference in between yogurt and curd. Only in some region we called it yogurt and then we called it curd.
No,
That is so.
if you
Yogurt
see
is not always probiotic, sir.
Sheila ma'am
madam,
wants to share something.
Actually, yogurt, if you see the recommendations and guidelines of probiotics, yogurt is prepared by the non-strain, and all non-strains have the several beneficial effect with the established, but it curds also show the probiotic property, and due to the mixed culture and all cultures are not characterized, they are not categorized as a probiotics. They are just treated as a property having the probiotics, but not categorized due to the mixed culture. This is the actually recommendation of the Probiotic Association.
Okay, any other want to ask questions?
Sheila madam wanted to.
Sheila ma'am want to say something? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, Preeti, that was a fantastic presentation. Congratulations, and it was really nice to see the way you brought out the traditional foods and traditional culture and everything. You kind of linked the modern nutrition food groups and the food groups and the different kinds of nutrients to the traditional way of eating, and I think you did a wonderful job. So I'm so glad I attended today's program. Talking about the yogurt and the curd, I do agree with what Dr. Tripathi said. I think there is a difference in the way it is cultured. Curd is something that we make at home by using the previous day's curd, adding it to milk. But yogurt is commercially prepared in most places, and probably Sangeeta will agree with me, but yogurt is what is available in most Western countries because they don't have this habit of making curd at home. So the culture is actually commercially injected into the milk and then prepared. So there is definitely probably a difference in the quantity of the bacteria that is present in curd. There's definitely a difference between curd and yogurt. And as far as probiotics is concerned, I think a food to be called probiotic needs to have some 10 to the power of something million bacteria, which will
minimum
be,
5 million CFU, I believe that minimum. So no, the any regular yogurt in the market won't be like probiotic yogurt.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
In India, that can kind of like really go curd way, but no, the yogurt, the regular yogurt, if it's not added probiotics, then it won't.
It's not exactly. There's definitely a difference, but a food to be called a probiotic needs 10 to the power of something million bacteria, which is going to be beneficial for health. Only then it can be called a probiotic, and I think that's very important for people to keep in mind. And while we say that curd is not a probiotic food, but it is definitely gut friendly, and I think that's very important to remember because the audience needs to understand that curd and yogurt, they may not be probiotic foods in the technical sense, but they're definitely gut friendly. They have a lot of gut friendly bacteria, and they have to be included in the daily diet. Thank you.
Madam, both the curd and yogurt, it should contain at least 10⁶ CFU per ml. Live bacteria per ml.
Yeah.
Commercially available curd in Indian market, as far as the Indian market is concerned, the commercially available curd has, I think there is no difference in between curd and yogurt. Pushpa madam, if you can please give some insight in this, because curd is also having a very and selective cultures. Like Amul curd is available, so they never claim is as yogurt.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
okay, actually curd and yogurt, the main difference is the culture. Curd is a mixed
Actually,
culture, as we all know. Yogurt is a pure culture, which is prepared with a particular type of culture. So that
two
is
culture.
the major difference. But with regard to the probiotic nature, as you rightly mentioned, it has to have 10 to the power of 6 CFU.
10 CFU, yeah, per ml.
Yeah, that is it should be that much, but that much of culture, I mean the organism makes the curd very sour. It
Yes,
will be
yes.
totally sour and difficult to
Consume.
very difficult to consume that high amount. So whatever we consume, as Dr. Sheila mentioned, it is gut friendly.
Yes.
Definitely, curd and yogurt both are gut friendly, and the our tradition of having the curd at the end of the meal or buttermilk at the end of the meal is really a welcome this one practice. So whatever Preeti has put in, you have compiled everything so beautifully, Preeti. I really liked it because this topic is very close to my heart. I always like our tradition. As Dr. Manoj was mentioning, I think it is definitely we are far away now. We cannot go back to the traditional methods of cooking and all that. It is very difficult to go back. We cannot go back to that stone grinding and things like that.
Cold
And
press
the
oils.
pressure cookers have become part of our life now. Without pressure cooker, we can't think of cooking. So that way, practice of cooking, we cannot go back. But we definitely can adapt whatever is possible, wherever it is possible. Like cultivation of millets. Millets are actually, they are grown without any fertilizers. They are organic for that matter.
Yes.
Nowadays, because of the expectations and requirements, people are growing millets with fertilizers, but that is not required for the millet. So for that matter, tomorrow I thought of covering most of it, millets, how they can be used and all, whatever you ask. So I'll talk about it little bit. I'll try to cover all that
Yeah.
tomorrow. But today's lecture, whatever Preeti has covered, it was fantastic job what you have done, Preeti.
Thank you,
Congratulations
madam.
from my side.
Thank you, madam. Madam, in Gujarat, many NGOs are there who look into the benefits of millets for agriculture purpose, for and as far as the nutritional nutritional value is concerned. So they have made aware the farmers to as I said earlier, to keep a piece of land of their farm means reserved for cultivating the millets only, because this millets does not require, as Pushpa madam said, they does not require much of pesticides or fertilizers or even water. They are drought friendly crop. So nowadays there is a awareness we can see on the grassroots level, and farmers are actually cultivating this kind of crops. And people have started consuming this kind of crops, just like bajra is a very popular millet in Gujarat.
Yes.
So in between the time we have just stopped consuming bajra. Even in my own home, I have not seen bajra since long. Bajra roti, it is not preferred by younger generation. But nowadays there are so many value-added products are available in the market, and again people have started consuming bajra. Yes.
Very true.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a separate lecture on utilization of millets by Pushpa Bharti ma'am on 7th September, which is the last lecture of National Nutrition Celebrations 2021. Yes, any other wants to ask question with ma'am? Can unmute their mic?
Yeah, ma'am, I have a question.
Yes. Yeah, please.
Ma'am, I want to ask Preeti madam. In Gujarati cuisine, there is a lot of use of sugar in pulses and vegetables. Just I want to know whether it is because of taste or there is some scientific reason behind it.
See, Mamta, what I have, after joining this profession and after studying the food and times why we are eating this much of sweet in even in regular dal, pulses and sabji preparations. So what I am thinking, according to me, first of all, the main reason is that nowadays, because of this Narmada project, we are getting a good amount of water and we have changed our crop pattern entirely. But earlier, the Gujarat is entire a very dry region, just like Rajasthan. So at that time, fresh fruits and vegetables were not available. So the desi gur, which we can desi jaggery, non-processed jaggery, is a very good source of iron, and I think that is the main reason that our forefathers have started adding jaggery in almost all the preparations to maximize the absorption. What I think is area also, like temperature reaches up to 50 degree in the hot summers. So good is also considered a very good heat reliever. In an Ayurvedic way, it is considered as a heat reliever food. So even in some part of Maharashtra, it is a tradition when you go to the farmer's house in hot summer, they will offer you a piece of jaggery. So that may be the reason that we are eating this much of jaggery. It is not just taste, I think. There will be some more scientific reasons behind this.
Definitely.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to add, it was a beautiful presentation. I loved it actually after a long time seeing this way. I grew up as a child, I grew up something like that. My grandfather was Ayurveda practitioner. So it was like refreshing to see those kind of and relating to Krishna and Dahi and all. So it was a beautiful presentation. And I would point out that anytime we see that nowadays, if we're going to say the mainstream consumer, so we need to sometime, whenever we nutrition professionals are coming or the scientists coming, we need to see rather than putting, I always say that rather than putting the hardcore science behind, even if that those people who are running to the fast food restaurants and eating like that, even if we don't pay attention and just eat the whole grain and millet, I think it's much, much more better than that. So we certainly need to target the common mainstream, what the scenario is, and then shift our recommendation and not go into too many technicalities, because I believe that will make us more accessible. And I believe that we need more and more nutrition professionals, and we just need to be there to kind of like help this common mainstream consumer, right? I hope that Sheila, you agree?
Yes, I do agree, Sangeeta. In fact, people are moving away from nutrient-based guidelines to food-based guidelines. And I think a lot of countries have adopted food-based dietary guidelines now, which makes sense not only to us as professionals, but also makes a lot of sense to the consumers. You know, it's so much easier for them to follow food dietary guidelines rather than nutrient-based dietary guidelines. So yes, I do agree that let's not get too deep into the technical aspects of it. Let's just stick to what is good and what is not so good, perhaps.
Yeah.
Madam, just a small submission from my end. While preparing this presentation, I was also simultaneously checking for the scientific proof of what I am putting in my slides. So actually, it's not always possible to quote the research papers in the presentation, but I just wanted to make sure for myself that whatever I am putting is scientifically true. So while doing this exercise, I was wondering that when I was discussing with my students also, one of my students asked me, "Madam, इसके लिए क्या proof है? कहाँ ऐसा paper कहाँ publish हुआ है, madam?" So I thought कि yeah, we are really lacking in a good research in this area. So how long we should wait कि some researcher from other country will come and research on our traditional dietary pattern? I think we should give such kind of topics to our MSc and PhD students, and we should establish the missing link in between the scientific traditions as well as its health benefits. The in between, whatever missing, we have to try to establish, and that is, I think, it is our prime duty as a nutritionist.
I think that's a wonderful, Sorry,
we are
go ahead,
talking
Sangeeta.
Ayurveda, but when the Ayurveda was there, the advancement of science were not there. So now
Yeah.
the job of the Ayurvedic practitioner is certainly to kind of like align this Ayurveda to the modern way, and certainly the research. Because if I'm sitting here, it's fine, but I'm sitting in a place where I just simply cannot put without evidence anything. So even we are saying that if you're sharing, I know I sit in the fancy and we somebody like, okay, the Gaia herb came and they were talking about the golden milk. मैंने कहा बचपन बिता दिया हल्दी का दूध पी के और अभी Gaia herb are telling us that the golden milk, and they kind of like really patented and all, but it just kind of feels really bad that we are lacking in us. Why we could not bring these things out to the world?
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion, Preeti, what you made, and I think it's up to the professors who teach in colleges like some of you that are here, to take it up and bring up such research topics that
Research.
help
Why
your
not to
students.
promote
And
research undergrad?
and
They should do postgraduate or the PhD thesis. I think we can really bring the research forward, and I believe and I wouldn't mind
and as far as
bringing my
Ayurveda,
student here. I want to see India to come up and the master's and bachelor student to take on this subject matter and conduct some research.
as far as Ayurveda is concerned, I think there is a lot of research going on now.
It is lots of
Ayurveda institutes are conducting research, and one very good example is a transdisciplinary university, which is in Bangalore. They are
So we have
doing
Ayurveda chapter
extremely.
in this book actually. So that was a
Yeah.
big success. It's a functional medicine textbook being
Right.
taught to the master's or doctoral student. So it was happy that, and now the Ayurveda chapter in this became a cited actually, right? So, but we need to kind of do more, and we cited. Otherwise, the chapter could never published in this, like be accepted in this. So there are lots of I connected. To the many like my goal was I'm going to connect in India and Europe and also the South America and here, and then come up how it looks like, and we were able to. It's well cited, so we need more, and we got, anytime I say and anybody's writing something, we got enough evidences. We just need to make it more visible to the rest of the world. That's the key.
Dipali, I think there's a raised hand
Yes,
on the screen.
yes,
In
someone
fact,
Deen
ma'am,
Dayal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in fact, in our country, ma'am, we have also running several projects, especially on the health food platform. All these facts are established. So these are not only fact that this tradition, but most of the research is going on. In coming years, we properly confirm that Preeti madam is asking is scientifically all the things is established. So small research in our country in the pharma platform. Like I am working on the health food platform, where we are establishing the role of this component as suggested by Preeti ma'am. So this is the small thing, but they require some efforts in small labs like PG level, PhD level to establish all these traditional foods directly as a health food, and how this is the important and why this food can be used as a medicine. So
Yes, sir.
I think there are two people who have raised
Someone,
hands.
yes, Deen Dayal Nitranjan, sir. Yes. So you have to ask some question to ma'am. And Neha Singh, I think by
Please
default,
or please unmute this. Yeah. If they want
I
to
think
ask.
by default they raise
Yes.
their hands.
Yes.
Is any other want to ask question? Yes, students. Students, participants. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, please.
Very good morning or good afternoon, and it's so nice and happy.
Madam, how are you?
Yeah, very fine, Preeti. Thank you.
Nice
And
to
so
see you,
happy.
madam.
Ma'am is
It was a
attending
wonderful session
all the
today.
lectures.
Yeah. It was a wonderful session and so nice, as pointed by many of the participants. Too good to hear about our own traditional foods. Good going, rocking. And Sheila ma'am, nice meeting you. I am Dr. Alamelu Mumbai. Associate Professor from Bharadasan College, Puducherry. I belong to IDA Untitled Chapter, ma'am.
Okay, nice to meet you, Alamelu.
Yeah, ma'am. So nice. Wish to meet in IDA. And soon this pandemic is going to get over. Let's be positive and let's talk together. Thank you all. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, Aditi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Preeti ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and perceptions about Indian traditional dietary pattern. It was so wonderful and interesting session. Thank you us for enlightening about our traditional patterns. Thank you for acknowledging the questions. The quiz link and the feedback link is posted in the chat box for the participants. So I request all the participants to please fill the today's link. Thank you all for giving your valuable time and active participation. Now we meet tomorrow on 11:30 a.m. on Google Meet with our 5th lecture. This concludes the 4th day of National Nutrition Week celebrations 2021. Thank you all. Thank you all eminent speakers, and thank you so much, Preeti ma'am.
Last
Thank
but
you.
not the least, I would
Yes,
like to
ma'am.
thank Dipali specifically, who has brought all of us on this platform to interact such kind of various different topics. I'm really happy, Dipali. Due to you only, I could meet this many eminent personalities. Thank you so much.
I thank all the eminent speaker for accepting my invitation. I thank by bottom of my heart. I thank all the eminent speakers, participants, my students, guest attendees. Thank you all. Thank you all to make the successful National Nutrition Week celebrations 2021. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well done, Dr. Preeti. And it's going well. So congratulations, Dipali. It's really nice. I look forward each night. It's midnight for me, but I look forward for this. So it's nice.
Thank you so much, madam, for sparing time.
Thank you so much.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.